She would always come home smelling like body odor, yeast, and feet. God.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it is totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping back into r/LegbeardStories. Apparently I'm in the mood to do a weird, semi-British accent. Feel free to go ahead and check out the podcast. You know, I'm reading creepypastas over on Date and Dies. You know, we got a lot of plugs and stuff to get out of the way. And then I promise we will dive right into some of this Legbeard stories, a cringe. I probably should update that plug thing sooner rather than later, but I don't know where the project file is. Maybe we start from scratch. Maybe we make a whole new one. Anyways, I have lived with a Legbeard for 4 years and counting, part 1. Written by user my name is a chef 696. 69, that's the sex number. Nice. This started as a super quick ramble for ReddX's Discord server in a way of venting because I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest, but it got too long for the character limit and I didn't want to spam. We also don't allow venting in the Discord server, just so's you know, because a lot of times it turns into, you know, attention seeking and one-upsmanship and like, ooh, who had the most traumatic childhood? No, that's not what we're here for, all right? So, with all that being the case, OP is going to go into more detail and post it up here on a throwaway account in r/ReddX reads. Hey, good idea. Then I can read it on the channel. Then way more people will see it than are in the Discord server, I'm pretty sure. So this girl is still my roommate and still one of my best friends. Really? And I would hate for my in-the-moment venting to get back to her through my main accounts where she's following my Neckbeard stories. So, yeah. Bruh, you're talking behind her back? Oh, this is juicy. Spill the tea, that's what I'm talking about. This isn't so much a story as it is just a list of her Legbeardy tendencies and some tangentially related behaviors and attitudes she has that annoy me. I mean, maybe this is a thing that you should take up with her. I don't know if making a Reddit post is the right idea. Communication is the key. Like, you say she's your best friend, but then you're going all ham on a Reddit post? I guess we'll have to see just how bad it gets. But please, keep in mind as you're reading that you are only being told about her absolute worst traits. I've always thought that she's a lovely person despite these annoyances, and I still do. The pros of being her friend vastly outweigh the cons. Alright, I know, you just need to get it off your chest. It seems like sort of weird and snaky to me, but it also sounds really juicy, so you know I'm gonna do it. Being her roommate, not so much. But at the moment, I don't have any other options. She is the one on the lease, and I don't have anyone else that I feel safe rooming with. And at the end of the day, she is still human. She's also getting better about certain things. Slowly, but hey, growth is growth. Yeah, I hope that you guys have talked about all this stuff. Really, it's not easy to be roommates with anyone at all. I enjoyed being roommates with Ramtide and a couple other people for a long time, but they still had little things that they did, you know, like filling their room up with cigarette butts and bean burrito wrappers. He did that. The floor was an ashtray, which, you know, I didn't really care because the security deposit on the lease was gone long before I showed up, but still, it can't be good for your health or something like that. My solution was just not to hang out in his room. You can come to my room if you want, but use an ashtray, goddammit. So forgive any spelling or grammar mistakes or weirdly worded sentences. She's actually my beta reader, and I obviously can't show her this one. Also marking this as not safe for work for talk about things like period blood and suicide and sex toys. One of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the others.
But thanks for the heads up. Yeah, Legbeards, Neckbeards, they gross. Dip out if you need to. You know how it goes. Anyway, Legbeardy tendencies. All right, we got like 4 years worth of pent up bullshit, so let's see if I can organize my thoughts better in this, the second draft. Oh boy. First up is hygiene, of course. Despite hearing her shower pretty regularly, she always had a bit of eau de poisson écor odor about her, which apparently, according to Google Translate, means fish water. But it does sound classier when you dress it up in French, doesn't it? Sometimes it's so subtle that you wouldn't notice unless you're literally hugging her, which I have learned the hard way. And sometimes it's so overbearing that I can smell her lingering after she vacates a room. Women are not supposed to smell like fish. If you smell like fish, you probably got something going on with your vajayjay that you need to get checked out with your local doctor, all right?
Girl, you need to wash your pussy.
Yes, this is out of concern. I'm not being mean on that one. I'm legitimately concerned for your vagina. Yeah, that's my side gig. Now, up until recently, she was working in the mall food court. Oh, God. The fishy scent lady working at Wetzel's Pretzels. She'd be around a 500 Fahrenheit degree oven for 8 to 12 hours a day, up to 6 days a week. And since I've gotten food there, I know firsthand how hot it can be, even on the other side of the counter. I mean, big respect for that, you know? She's got to hustle. She does work. It would be impossible not to sweat your ass off as an employee, so I don't really fault her for that. But because the products this kiosk served were baked goods, made fresh all day, every day, up to an hour before they closed, there was a lot of flour and yeast everywhere, and she probably didn't wash her uniform that often, maybe once a week. Yeah, I see where this is going. Like I said, you need to get some of that monostat or whatever it is. I don't know what it is for a yeast infection, but please, wash your pants after you're working with yeast. Don't scratch your vagina when you come home. She had enough shirts from the store that she probably could have gotten by washing them all on her day off and then wearing a different one each day. But she would wear the same one over and over and over, and of course that added to her smell. She would always come home smelling like body odor, yeast, and feet. Oh, God.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Fishy feet and body odor and yeast. These are like not the most horrible smells, you know? We've had no mentions of smegma or ass, but this is still pretty bad. Unfortunate. I would just sit her down and have a nice conversation about why it's important to shower. Hey, look, you come home, I noticed this. I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything. This is out of concern for your health. Please do this for yourself. Now, her feet, which I recently discovered are red and swollen and covered in some sort of brownish discoloration, always smelled the worst of all things on a human body that could possibly smell. There's a fungal infection going on too. She got them yeasty toes, right? I still get the feeling that she doesn't wash or change her socks that often. And when she worked for this kiosk, she wore a pair of 3-plus-year-old non-slips that smelled awful and were literally falling apart. I don't know, man. As a friend, we'll go halvesies on the shoes if you really need them. I think you could probably tell if the socks don't get changed that much, if they're crunchy, right? Go check out her laundry basket, and if you pick up the sock and can crack it in half like a piece of beef jerky, then she probably wears them a few times too many. Although you probably want to wear gloves while you do that. Pro tip, as soon as she took off her shoes, the smell of her feet would fill the entire apartment. Oh, God. Just an overpowering spoiled dairy smell. Oh, that on more than one occasion made me gag if I had to be around her after she had just got home, or if I had to walk down the hallway after she did. Oh, dairy smell? You know that ain't right. What's a foot doctor called? Can the OBGYN tell me something about the feet as well? There's a lot that's going wrong here. What's the stuff for foot fungus? Tough actin tenactin. That's what you need.
Boom! Tough actin tenactin. Clinically proven tenactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus.
That'll knock that fungus right out. Hopefully. It seems like it's pretty severe. God. Now, both of these things have gotten a lot better since she quit the kiosk. Oh, hell yeah. Moving up in the world. Proud of you, Beardy. We ain't even given her a name yet. That seems wild to me. Anyway, she now works an office job where she is in a temperature-controlled room for only 8 hours at a time, and she has a strict dress code. So now she's required to wear different clothes every day. See? Things is turning out all right at the end of it all. You put in your time, you did some hustle, now you got a cushy office job. You enjoying that? It's probably pretty cool for the first couple of years until you realize there's no upward mobility. And then you gotta quit. I've been there. I mean, I don't think that wearing different clothes every day is like an actual rule, but given that it's an office and it is business casual, people would notice if she wore the same blouse and skirt or slacks every day, and they would complain if she smelled. So, social pressure, at the very least, forces her to wear clean clothes and shower more regularly. I actually haven't smelled her at all since she got her new job. And when I can, it's this lovely rose perfume that I got her for Christmas last year. Oh, all right, good. Then it seems like the whole hygiene thing was a non-issue. I'm glad she got it all figured out, honestly. To be fair, the social contract still exists if you're working at a Wetzel's Pretzels, though. I mean, people will just come up and get their pretzel and walk away and go, God damn, that bitch real stink. You know? Like, just because you're locked in a room with these office people doesn't make it a different situation, really. But whatever. If that's the motivation that you need, then hang on to that, I suppose. Now that she's not being run into the ground by managers who take advantage of her helpful nature to overschedule her because literally none of her coworkers are reliable, she has more energy, and she's gotten into a really good morning routine, something that I actually still struggle with. Yeah, my morning routine is more like a afternoon routine. Wake up at 2 p.m., living that YouTube life. But when I did have to wake up at 8 for my office job, yeah, I was still horrible at it. She wakes up early, showers, has breakfast, and then actually gets to do her hair and makeup and dress up a little, even if she's just eating microwave egg bowls and toaster pastries. I feel like the routine does put her in a better mood in the morning, and has helped her mental health at least a little bit. Not being in a fucking mall food court, working with teenagers who can't use any of the equipment probably helps too. Well, I like how this is turning out. She's moving up and out, pushing her life forward. A mall food court, that is like a temporary job. You know what I'm saying? You want to get that over and done with as soon as possible. And she did. She's obviously got some muscle in her hustle. You know what I'm saying? She got a new job. And now that said job is not consuming every moment of her time, she has time to shower, do her little morning routine. Ah, good for you, Legbeard. However, despite this glow up, there's still a few things to nitpick. I don't think that she brushes her teeth regularly. Oops. She has plaque and some pretty foul morning breath. If she skips breakfast, I just kind of hope that she doesn't talk too much during our carpool ride to work. She drops me off since my place is on the way, because yeah, her breath is bad. I don't have any fancy descriptions because it just smells like really intense morning breath. But the same way her feet filled up a room, her morning breath fills up the car. Yeah, that's a lot less square footage to fill up. Honestly, I do think that a good conversation. Look, I'm not trying to hurt you, but it smells like you got some yuck mouth going on, all right? Did you brush your teeth? Could you? I'm sure I'm not the only one that has noticed, and I'm telling you this as a friend. Please, brush your teeth in the morning. There's also her hands. Sometimes she'll boot my nose or grab my face and kiss my hair / tell me I'm cute if I'm in a bad mood or having those sad boy hours. Or sometimes I'll be telling dad jokes or making random noises because haha funny, and she'll try to put her hand over my mouth to shut me up. Whatever the case, sometimes her hands come near my face, and they literally smell like she just had them down her pants. Oh God, oh God. Both poopy and fishy. Oh, that's bad. You shouldn't be smelling poopy or fishy. Please, we need to do something about this. Again, it's a hard conversation to have, but it's for the best, for both of us. God, and she's touching your face with it. Hold on, I need a minute. They're never like wet or damp with sweat or anything else, but God, they reek. And it makes me wonder if she just got done scratching her asshole, because then I have to go wash my face with bleach. This whole situation is not good. I guess it wasn't pretzel yeast that was making her smell fishy. So yeah, you still need to take that trip to the OB. And when you come back home, OP is gonna have a nice big box of wet wipes waiting for you, all right? No more poopy smell, no more fishy smell. We're moving onwards and upwards with our lives. I mean, honestly, it's not your job to fix this person, but they are your friends, so shouldn't you want to? Just have some of those hard conversations with her. Next we get to cleanliness / kitchen issues. Oh boy. I don't know if this girl even knows the meaning of the word. Trash just seems to pile up in her general vicinity as if it was being summoned straight from the dumpster, be it her bedroom or car or shared living spaces, and it takes forever to get thrown away if I don't say anything or don't just do it myself. I know I shouldn't have to clean up her messes in the living room or kitchen, but it doesn't get done otherwise, and I like having a clean apartment, especially since she likes to invite her friends over without warning, and I don't want people thinking that I live in that state. Oh, you got a real Oscar and Felix situation going on. Odd couple? Anybody? No? Showing my age a little bit there. And also, please don't invite people over without telling me. That's horrible. But you said yourself she does seem to respond when you tell her things, so yeah. I think all of this stuff could be solved with a conversation. Show her this video and or Reddit post. And you could say, I know this might hurt, but this video is about you. Or you could do the sidelong tactic and be like, wow, doesn't this sound like somebody that we know? I don't know if it'll work, but staying silent definitely won't work. Now, we both have depression, and we both used to work super long days at very labor-intensive jobs. Her at the kiosk, and me in a professional kitchen. So I won't pretend that I don't also have my moments where tidying up falls to the wayside in favor of just making sure that I can keep functioning and going to work through a depression spike. God, I feel so seen with that sentence. I don't think I ever pulled myself out of it. The apartment just kind of spiraled into oblivion, but I did survive, so that's good. I have my weeks / months where I just let my trash overflow and forget to bring the dishes to the sink, and when it's bad, I do find myself ordering takeout, and the trash kind of, I don't know, lingers. Clothes do pile up, and bed sheets go unlaundered until I'm able to pick myself back up. The difference between the two of us is that I try to keep my mess secluded to my own room. She does not. Well, I don't know the answer to that. Maybe you try fighting fire with fire, or fighting trash pile with a trash pile. Just see who can make the bigger trash pile. It'll be a fun game. You see why I insist that not all of my advice is good advice? Actually, very little of it is. As far as her room goes, I don't remember when I last saw the floor. There's just so much trash. Mostly fast food containers or chip bags, etc., and piles of dirty clothes that I probably would have forgotten the color of her carpet if I wasn't already aware that it is the same white beige color as mine. Although hers leans a bit more towards the beige side. At least it isn't brown or black. The beige carpet turned brownish black once Ramtide was done filling it up with cigarette butts. I mean, I love the boy, but he's an outdoor type of friend, you know? I don't usually go into her room unless I absolutely have to, whether to return a personal item that she left in the living room, passively aggressively dumping her clothes on her bed because she forgot to empty the dryer, or to ask her a question, but, boy. Yeah, just text each other or something, that's fine. Leave the clothes outside, you don't actually need to go in there. Leave the personal item outside her door as a tribute, and then run. It doesn't really smell because she constantly burns candles, but I can't imagine how awful it would smell if she didn't. There have been times where I pop my head in several days in a row, and the same dirty dishes or pizza boxes are still on her bed. Eventually they do get put on the floor. Baby steps. But this has happened enough times for me to get that she's literally sleeping with trash and dirty dishes in her bed. Bruh, I can't even sleep if I have crumbs on the sheet. I can't imagine rolling over and getting a face full of half-eaten KFC Famous Bowl. Oh, my wife is much the same way. She's like, I feel something's in the bed. I'm like, I don't notice it at all. I did sleep with trash in the bed. This is why I often say my wife saved me from myself. Did it take a lot of hard conversations and a lot of changing? Hell yes it did, but I'm a better person for it, so maybe give it a try, OP, if you really are invested in seeing this Legbeard better herself. She very rarely washes her sheets, which were a lovely pastel pink when she first bought them, but have now faded into this gray, brown, pink color. Oh, God. Some of her pillows, all of which are devoid of their cases, are white around the edges, but a sort of brown where she lays her head. Oh, man. Why? You know, you can wash the bedding stuff, right? Please, stop doing this. The rest of her pillows are all the way brownish yellow. Her mattress also sports that off-color elliptical stain where she sleeps. And in turn, that elliptical stain is also covered in massive, patchy splotches of dried blood. This is real bad. I mean, I ain't never had a period, and I assume that maybe little whoopsies do happen, but OP says massive patchy splotches. She just doesn't care that much. Man, what is going on? Now, anyone who does have periods probably relates to having bloodstains on the mattress. Sometimes you go to sleep on white sheets and wake up on the Japanese flag, you know? That's beautiful. Sometimes your flow is heavier than you thought, or your pad shifts out of place as you roll around and you just keep bleeding, completely unaware. But most of us try to clean up the blood as best we can, right? Good old hydrogen peroxide, little dash of cornstarch. Most of us try not to let it happen again. We change our blood catcher of choice. We change our sheets. We put down a towel to sleep on top of. My roommate? Nah. This is another one of those hard conversations. I refuse to believe that she just doesn't give a shit that much. Who is okay with rolling around in their own blood? You wake up covered in crusty blood? No! This is horrible! She's confessed to me on more than one occasion that she doesn't wear pads or tampons unless she absolutely has to, and is extremely lazy about changing them. I should just change my pad, but I get so comfortable. Yeah, you might want to look up this thing called septic shock. Jesus. To be fair, she has PCOS and experiences pretty irregular periods. When she does have one, they're for the most part short and pretty light. She just kind of spots, so whatever. If you don't need it as often as someone with a heavy flow, then okay, you don't need it. But I still don't think that that is an excuse to sit on your ass and let yourself bleed onto your mattress. Especially when you have no intention of cleaning it up. You just gonna let that shit soak in? Fucking nasty! To say the very least. Honestly, I think PCOS gives even less of an excuse. If your periods are lighter and shorter, then yeah, just catch it. Wear a pad for a couple of days. You're good, you know? Of course, that does come with its own set of challenges and whatnot, but yeah, as far as the period goes, I'm pretty sure it ain't that hard to sleep on top of a towel, right? God, I'm glad I never have to experience this. This is so complicated. But wait, OP, you said the stains were massive. If she has short light periods, how is that possible? And to that, I say that I said she has irregular periods, which are, for the most part, pretty light. Every so often, she does have a heavy period that can last for over a week. One time, one of her heavy periods lasted for nearly 3 week period? Bro, you gotta go to the doctor. Something's going on there. Now, she does see a doctor for this before anyone tells me to tell her to go. Okay, good. And because she's getting treatment, here's where I'd usually say that wouldn't normally be an issue, but y'all goddamn know that there is an issue because this chick ain't normal. I mean, I don't want you to pick on her for having PCOS or anything, but I gotta say, you're right. Sitting on the mattress and just bleeding all over it and not giving a damn, that is not normal behavior. Something is severely wrong. She needs more than a doctor. She probably needs a therapist. A little bit of therapy, help out some. Has that been suggested? Would she be offended? Because I'll be honest, therapy can help a lot. Even when she has her heavy periods, she doesn't change her standards of menstrual care. She might actually wear a pad, but then she'll let that pad get soaked with blood and then just sit there with her overflowing pad. God damn it, dude. Just freely bleeding into her mattress. Ugh. This is a hard one to stomach. This is like on a different level than most of the stories that we get. Sometimes she'll even sleep like that, and I genuinely cannot wrap my head around it. Maybe it's because I'm trans and periods make me dysphoric, but I can't stand having a full pad at all. Even if my cramps are so bad I'm immobilized, I will crawl to the bathroom to change my pad/tampon. I use both on my heavy days, and I wipe myself down with wet wipes if I need to. God, this is just a nightmare. As a 30-year-old man, I've never really talked in detail about periods or how hellish it actually is. I know that I'm glad that I don't experience, but after reading all this, I'm really glad that I don't experience it. God damn, I'm so sorry. Imagining myself sitting in a bloody pad with bloody underwear on a bloody mattress is literally making me so nauseous right now. I need to move on, but not before telling you that I have seen used pads on her floor before. Damn it. On more than one occasion. Yeah, like she literally just took off her underwear with the used pad still attached and dropped them on the floor, gags in my mouth a little. God damn, dude. Does she not understand that the floor is not actually a trash can? I don't know how to explain that one. I am now of the opinion that she requires a bit more than a stern talking to. Therapy. Rush her to a therapist as soon as either one of you can afford it. Preferably her, but you know, needs must if you really have to live with this person for an extended period. Anyways, back to dirty dishes. Oh, good. What a relief. She loves to hoard them. On the rare occasion where she does clean her room, the sink and the counter will magically fill up with dirty dishes overnight. Sometimes with things that have been in her room for so long that I actually almost forgot that we had them. Because she has long hair and sheds like a sick animal. Sometimes they even have hair stuck to them. Yum. Sheds like a sick animal. Bro, the shade is so heavy. Forewarning. This might be the most rambly part of this story because it focuses on the kitchen. And I have so much pent-up rage about how she treats the kitchen. Literally, everything else would be a non-issue if it wasn't for the kitchen. Well, that's a lie. You just figure out something else, but it is the biggest issue, I can tell, and that's okay. I can deal with having to be the one to pick up her soda cans from the living room every now and then, and I could deal with the personality tics that we haven't even gotten into yet, and I could deal with having to look at her trash every time I go into her room if, and only if, the kitchen wasn't such a fucking disaster all the time. The kitchen issue has made me consider moving out at least once a week. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to go. Believe me, I have talked to many a friend and coworker, and as a masculine AFAB, pre-T trans person in Trump country, I just don't feel safe moving in with a stranger. I mean, you don't feel safe moving in with a stranger in your state. But how about you go all the way to California, where they're generally pretty accepting of these things, and then you only have to pay, like, you know, triple the rent. It's not a good suggestion either. I think the conversation and a bit of therapy is the easiest way to get over this issue. So, okay, the kitchen. Let me try and bring myself back to a simmer because I'm already about to boil over. And I'm tossing up a word salad with a super salty vinaigrette. I like this Opie's writing style. It's got some good analogies in there. First of all, since I work open to close, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. most days, I usually just eat breakfast and lunch and dinner at work. It's a hell of a shift. I really only cook on my days off when the kitchen is clean, and even then, it's mostly just rice and miso soup or some kind of sauteed tofu or chicken dish or gyoza. Simple, light, mostly healthy. And I don't dirty that many dishes since I do most of my prep work at work and then bring it home in to-go boxes. Are you stealing product from work? I can't sign off on that. Jesus. When the kitchen is dirty, as it usually is, I just order food. As you can imagine, I save a lot on groceries, but that money always ends up going to local restaurants anyways, so I can't really brag. I mean, I would have to know a lot more about the restaurant and how they treat their employees before I say, yeah, go ahead, brag about stealing food from work. But my default mode is, yeah, probably maybe don't brag about that. Not just because, you know, you're screwing over your boss, which at this point, I don't give a damn about them. But mostly because, yeah, you're probably gonna get caught. It is on a throwaway, but it's not hard to connect the dots. Just hope the internet sleuths stay off your tail. Anyway, I also can't remember the last time I cooked a large meal in that kitchen, which sucks because I do genuinely love to cook. But my point to all of this is that she is the only one cooking in the kitchen 90% of the time, meaning that 90% of the messes are hers. Well, you seemed okay with cleaning up some of her messes earlier. I don't know. It's kind of like a Sisyphus situation, isn't it? You clean it all up and you go to work and you come back home and it's all messed up again. How many times can you possibly do it before you completely lose your mind? As far as pots and pans go, she'll leave them on the stove, letting whatever food she cooked dry up, meaning I have no choice but to scrub it, even if it could have been a rinse and dishwasher situation had she not left it to sit. Dishwasher situation. That's rough. She does the same things with bowls and plates, cooking utensils, and silverware. She doesn't bother washing or rinsing anything. She doesn't even put them in the sink to soak, which sure you shouldn't do anyways, but because she lets everything dry, her dirty dishes need at least a few minutes with some hot soapy water anyways, and that's if they even make it to the sink at all. Sometimes she'll bring out some dirty dishes and just leave them on the counter. And before you ask, yes, she is one of those people who leave the butter knife on the counter after making a sandwich. I mean, it seems understandable to me. When I was in a depressive phase, I didn't really give a damn enough to even move the butter knife 6 inches into the sink. Who cares anyways? Now, as a relatively normal functioning person, I'm like, wow, it's so easy to move the butter knife into the sink. But I don't know, there was a time in my life where I wasn't willing to do that. I was perfectly capable, I just wasn't willing. Because I try to be one of the other people, the kind of person that won't clean up your messes for you. She sometimes does actually do the dishes, but only if she's used them all up and has nothing to cook with or eat on. Extreme needs, but yeah, needs must. In those cases though, she fills up the dishwasher and then cleans what she needs in that moment by hand. Half the time when she fills up the dishwasher, she doesn't even turn it on. And when she does, she turns it to the wrong setting and the dishes don't get clean anyways. Meaning I inevitably have to give everything a good scrub and then run them through again for good measure. I mean, I gotta say, at least she's trying. It takes extreme situations to get her to try, but she's there. She's filling up the dishwasher. She doesn't do it the way that you want, but again, maybe a little conversation about how to do it properly could change things. But again, I don't really know. I'm not in the situation. All we really have to go off of is one side of the story from a Reddit post, so I'll just take all this with a grain of salt. All right. If you say she's this horrible, then, you know, maybe she is. But honestly, all of this stuff does seem fixable, as we've seen showcased with the job stuff, right? She is capable of change when it's required of her, and I still believe in this Legbeard, goddammit. So, yeah, dirty dishes are a given, but when she's left to her own devices, the counters quickly fill with empty food boxes and wrappers, like the kind that frozen pizzas and shit come in, pantry staples that should have been put back in the pantry, food scraps from meal prep, and shopping bags galore. It is sadly a very common sight in my kitchen, and it disgusts me. As mentioned before, I work in a professional kitchen, so everything being clean and sanitary and well organized are really big things for me. I won't use the kitchen at all when it's not up to my standards, but I feel like any normal and sane person would feel the same way. It gets so nasty, guys. I mean, I know my wife really enjoys a clean kitchen. As far as I go, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Get the food cooked, it's fine. So yeah, like I said earlier, literally Oscar and Felix situation. We've been battling a fruit fly problem for 6 months now. And it's a fucking miracle that we don't have cockroaches, because I refuse to clean up for her. And shit just kind of sits around until it becomes clean. She's not gonna do it either, and I just kind of cave because I slowly go crazy every time I have to look at that goddamn mess. To be fair, I mean, OP, you're kind of enabling that a little bit, and OP acknowledges and says, I know I shouldn't, and I should be more passive-aggressive. No, I'd leave her dishes on her bed or something. Since calm, adult conversations about these issues haven't worked, but I can't help it. You can't fault a guy for wanting to cook in his own kitchen. And I deserve home-cooked food too. You definitely do. And since you say that calm adult conversations haven't worked, maybe there do need to be repercussions, okay? Maybe you bar her from the kitchen. Maybe you buy your own little gas stove or something like that and cook your own meals, hide your plates and shit so she has to deal with the kitchen mess herself at some point. I don't really know. It seems like an extreme measure, but sometimes you need extreme measures. I think that therapy could help out with all of this, but if she can't afford it or is unwilling to go, then all right. I guess we have to take matters into our own hands. So anytime I want to cook, I need to clean for inspection or friends coming over, it takes me nearly an hour, sometimes two, to scrub and sanitize the kitchen up to my standards. I take advantage of the clean kitchen and cook myself a meal or two, cleaning up my own mess as I go, but inevitably the kitchen is right back to that trashy state again in a week or less. Wow, OP, that sure sucks, you must be saying, and yes it does. But I feel like I haven't even gotten to the most frustrating part. See, everyone probably has a messy roommate horror story, and I've heard descriptions of sinks that can turn stomachs. At least our dishes have never gone moldy. But reader, the blatant disrespect that she has for kitchen equipment, specifically my kitchen equipment. Like I said, I'm sticking with my theory that you should just hide all your shit. My knives, my spoons, my forks, plates, all in a cabinet in my room. You don't get any of it. Buy your own stuff to ruin. Now is the time to mention that I'm the one who bought, or otherwise provided, most of our kitchenware when we moved in together. Bro, you lifting kitchen stuff from work too? I'm not gonna comment on it. She got the odd thrift store find, a whole cabinet of mugs and gifts from her mom, which she's literally never used, but for the most part, everything is mine. From dishware, to cutlery, to cookware, to utensils. I pride myself in how well I've outfitted my kitchen with shiny new stainless steel, but few things compare to the well-loved gifts from my parents. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hiding it away. Go cook in your room with your new gas stove. There you go. Problem solved. You're welcome. Next. My mom passed away before I moved out. Oof, sorry about that. So I don't know if it was her intention to give me these when I got them, but my dad let me take her 2 pizza stones, which had been a wedding present. Pizza stones, like cast iron skillets, are one of those kitchen items that get better the more you use them, and they can last years if you care for them properly. Not forever, probably not for several generations, but at least for a single person's lifetime. They work similar to cast iron in that as soon as you use it, the fat and oils burn off and leave a nice non-stick surface. We've made pizza with them, but Mom would use them for cookies as well, as they absorb moisture in the baking process and can give you a nice crisp edge, but leave a gooey center. The best kind of cookies. Yeah, like little sweet pizzas or something like that, right? Ha, that's next level thinking. Now the best part of pizza stones is that they are pretty low maintenance. Leave it in the oven till it's cool, scrape off the food with a bench scraper or a spatula, and then wipe it down well with cold water and a clean sponge or towel. You leave it to air dry and then pop it back in the oven. You're not even supposed to use soap on these guys, and stains are your friend. But they are porous, and you're never supposed to submerge them or expose them to any kind of chemical cleaner. Uh-oh. She ruined your pizza stones. Was all of this explained to her? I don't know if this is a malicious act or just ignorance, because I didn't know anything about pizza stones until I just read what you said. So, yeah, I'm kind of giving Legbeard the benefit of the doubt again. So, yeah, of course, my roomie ran them through the dishwasher, effectively ruining them. Thankfully, it was just one cycle, and after some TLC and a lot of pizza, I was able to re-season them and get the soap taste out. Thankfully, it hasn't happened again after I lectured her, as she now uses metal baking sheets to make her frozen pizza. Lamau. See, I don't think that you told her properly that this was what was gonna happen. She was trying to help you out. Come on now. Along with the 2 pizza stones, my dad also sent me away with 2 of our family's 3 cast iron skillets. 1 perfectly seasoned, and 1 a little worse for the wear. They'd both been in his family since he was born, and I feel like he mistreated the one a bit on purpose to see if I could get it re-seasoned. Ah, a true test of skill. I did, and all was well until about a month ago. Roommate had some mutual friends over, and she made them a big dinner that I didn't get to partake in, both because I ate at work and because I don't really trust her in the kitchen. I mean, fecal fingers, for one. But we'll get to the other reasons in a minute. Yeah, there's like some instant food poisoning. You know what I'm saying? You ate some of her tendies and you ended up with endometriosis. Was it worth it? She baked some sort of creamy baked chicken dish, and she used my daddy's cast iron skillet to do it, so she could get that sear and then just pop it in the oven. Okay, no issues there. I was just happy seeing my friends, and I got to make fun of her cutting an onion by just standing there with a raised brow. Make fun of her cutting an onion, but for what reason? I don't understand. This is your friend, right? You don't step in and offer to help. You're just like, ooh, I'm the king of the kitchen. It's a bad look, honestly. I understand your frustration, but come on. You don't need to get too high and mighty. The problem arose the following day when I entered the kitchen to grab an energy drink from the fridge, and I saw that skillet still on the stove. I had retired to my bedroom before she was done cooking because it was late, and I had work in the morning. I kinda just rolled my eyes because, of course, she didn't bother to fucking clean it, but I didn't think much of it because cast iron is sturdy, and she had the day off. Well, I assumed wrongly that she would get to it when she woke up, or at the very least before I got home. But no, still dirty. Whatever, tomorrow for sure. Fast forward a month, and that skillet is still dirty. 1 month! 4 weeks! We've both cleaned the kitchen in that time, but the skillet remains dirty. We're having an old Mexican standoff over that skillet. For reference, this is what it looked like the morning after she used it. Yeah, it could use a good soak or something like that. No, wait, we're not supposed to do that with cast iron? I'm a little bit confused. See, I don't know all of the kitchen je ne sais quoi either. According to Ramtide, you just flip that skillet upside down and burn all the crumblies off. That's how it's supposed to work, right? And it has now been a month since it's been washed. Now, why haven't I washed it since I clean up all her other kitchen messes? Well, frankly, I'm tired. I don't want to have to clean up her messes anymore. And I want this to be a symbol of that. Yes, what a sacrifice from the cast iron skillet. It was not involved in any of this. It's like, I'm just trying to do my job. Why are you doing this to me? I haven't cleaned up any of her other messes since. As I'm writing this, it's currently the 29th of October, and our apartment is kind of a mess, but she's having some friends over for Halloween. I told her I'd help her clean the rest of the apartment if she cleaned the kitchen, and yeah, the kitchen still isn't clean. I'm not shocked by that. She's trying to wait you out. You're trying to wait her out. How could this possibly end? I know both of you guys are going to end up moving out of the apartment, and the skillet is still going to be there, left up to the next person that moves in. So yeah, I've been avoiding the kitchen completely because seeing my poppy's cast iron in such a state is so painful. But cast iron is tough, and I'm confident that when she finally gets around to scraping all that shit off it, I'll be able to scrub it down really well and re-season it. I actually kind of enjoy the maintenance and restoring process, so I'm looking forward to it. At this point, I'm just keeping track of how long it takes for her to actually wash it. I wasn't aware that Reddit had a character limit until just now when I tried to post, so whoops, guess I have to split this into a two-parter. Check out part 2 here, which we're going to cover at some later date. Well, my final analysis on this is that, Legbeard, she is trying the best that she can. I think that she does need a bit of therapy. There's maybe some undiagnosed mental health issues, especially when we talk about like the period blood on the mattress. You know that ain't normal, all right? There is something going on with her and it needs to get checked out. I do understand that you are allowed to be frustrated with your friend and that overall she is a good friend, but I don't know if making a post on Reddit just completely blasting her about her lack of hygiene and cleaning is the way to go about it. You said that you've talked it out before. Well, maybe it's time to talk it out again. You know what I mean? These types of conversations are rarely a one and done type of thing. If I have to remind you every single day that the skillet is still sitting on the counter, then I will. But just sitting there seething, expecting that it eventually will go away is definitely not the answer. The truth is, it sucks ass having roommates, but if you have to do it, then you have to do it, and you have to get along in the best way that you know how. I can't recall or remember if OP mentioned how long they had been staying together, but yeah, this situation is untenable because of both of you. You know, there's two sides to the same story. I'm sure if Legbeard wrote her own story, she'd be like, oh, OP does this and this and that I don't like. So I try to keep it in mind that, yeah, we are only getting one side of this explanation. And to me, I can't even be that angry with the Legbeard. It seems to me like she needs some legitimate professional help, and I hope that she's able to find it before too long. She thinks she's being hilarious, and that her road rage one-liners are her crowning achievement in comedy. Yeah, she took that Simpsons road rage game far too seriously.
I sentence you to kiss my...
I've lived with a Legbeard for 4 years and counting. Part 2. Welcome back, user. My name is chef696. Hey, that's the sex number. This is the second half of a story which was cut short by the Reddit character limit. Part 1 is here or down in the description if you would like me to read it to you. Other kitchen issues include cross-contamination. Oh, we're just jumping right into it. Okay. OP really seems to have a thing about the kitchen. Since they are a chef, they've sort of built their entire identity around that, which I don't know if that's a healthy thing to do necessarily. But it has also been made pretty clear that this Legbeard doesn't know what she's doing in the kitchen or doesn't give a damn. And it seems like they've had conversations before, but now they're just having a standoff over this cast iron skillet of like, who's gonna clean it first? It's, it's really some petty type of bullshit going on here, but you know, I'm kind of all about that. So we'll just watch it devolve even further. So yeah, cross-contamination and other fun kitchen safety violations. Yay! Aside from the fact that I have literally never seen her wash her hands before she started cooking, she almost always has her hair down, which, fire hazard, plus a general hygiene issue. There's a reason why line cooks and other food industry workers have to wear hats or hairnets and pull back long hair. Okay, but dude, she's cooking in her friggin' house. She's the one that's gonna eat the food, presumably, right? She's like, oh, I found a hair in my salad. It's my hair. That's fine. That's delicious. Washing her hands, yeah, it's gross, but again, she's the one who's gonna have to eat it, so I don't see why it's a big deal, aside from the fact that OP wants to get up on their soapbox and be like, hey, I'm a real chef. You are not. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm cooking in my house and not like an industrial kitchen. I don't know if you really even got a point here. Sure, it's gross, but let me make my gross food, all right? Why does it bother you so much? The last time I ate something she prepared, it was a bowl of French onion soup, which I had really only eaten because I had mentioned craving it a few days prior, and it still sounded pretty good. Oh, so she does share. It sounds like she's doing something nice for you, you know? You're like, I want some French onion soup, and she's like, I'll whip that right up for you, OP. And then you're like, yeah, but you didn't wash your hands, you disgusting bitch. How about thank you? What a nice gesture. As long as I didn't get food poisoning or something from it, I basically just wouldn't think too much about the preparation process, and it would be fine. I tried not to think, yeah, there you go, about how her hands always smell awful as, as I took my first few bites, but I only made it a few bites in before I felt something tickle the back of my throat. Oh, no. Again, it's maybe a nice gesture, but yeah, this is gonna get me pretty pissed off. All right, now that you've explained your side, I kind of do see it. If she's eating it, whatever. If you're serving it to somebody else ever, yeah, please, please, make it presentable at least. Yeah, it was a hair. Long, curly, brown hair that couldn't be passed off as my own since mine was short and dyed an unnatural color. Cue me gagging so hard that some soup actually came back up and her giving a very, very lackluster apology. Oh, ugh. I feel the tickling in the back of my throat just from reading that, dude. Oh, that is some visceral cringe deep down inside. Yeah, she probably does feel like she did something nice, but in the future, I would steer clear of anything that she makes. Again, I'm not gonna rake her over the coals for it. You fix your food in the way that you see fit, but I don't have to participate. I can't physically participate anymore. I will admit, this part is a bit anal of me and totally unnecessary in a two-person kitchen. But you can also kiss my ass because it's my kitchen. No, it's your guys' kitchen. Two-person kitchen, it's my kitchen. See, these two sentences, they don't make sense right next to each other, right? I was gonna go easy, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna go down the middle of the road and be like, oh, you guys are both kind of right. But if you're telling me to kiss your ass, then you can suck my dick. I'll start dropping firebombs right now. Do we understand each other? All right. I have 5 different cutting boards. Bro, OP is like, do you have a personality outside of cooking, honestly? It seems like such a weird flex, but okay. They're color-coded, depending on what gets cut on them. Holy shit, man. I could not operate in this kitchen either. That is way too much. You're expecting your roommate to go along with this color coding system that you invented? Bruh. Nah, I think you're expecting a bit too much. We've got red for raw meat and poultry, white for cooked meat, cooked eggs. 2 black for veggies and fruit and cheese and bread. And then a little baby cutting board that I basically got just to slice things like fruit and cheese when I want a snack. Anal retentive doesn't even begin to describe this. This is so not okay. Hey, look, if you got 2 black cutting boards, why not just provide one to your roommate and be like, okay, this is your cutting board, since you can't seem to follow the color coding system that I have so graciously invented for both of us to follow, even though it doesn't really freaking matter. Maybe it does matter. I don't know. I presume that you wash the cutting board between uses, right? All of this feels like fucking madness to me. Just listening to the system be explained, I feel my sanity slipping away just a little bit. I guess mostly because I'm not a very organized person, but there is such a thing as being far too organized. You realize that, right? Not as segregated as the boards we use in the kitchen, but you know, I like to keep some distance between my raw meat and my raw veg. I also have a really nice, heavy, beautiful wooden cutting board that I bought for myself as a treat. You like what you like, I guess. I can't really come at that because God knows my treats are pretty stupid. I'm like, I bought myself a video game as a treat. My wife's like, isn't that the 50th video game you bought this month? I'm like, yeah, but this one I might actually play. My plan is/was cutting a lot of vegetables on this wooden cutting board during soup season and to serve charcuterie during the holidays. Bro, you having like a social gathering? A little get-together, something like that? Who are you serving charcuterie to? Your Legbeard roommate that you don't like? Honestly, yeah, cut the raw meat and the raw veg on the same board. Just give it a little wash between. How long does it take to scrub the board? You could do it in like a minute and a half. Probably less than that. All of this seems really unnecessary, and I don't know why we're getting into it necessarily. Maybe there will be a point, although I suspect probably not. OP's just so deep in the chef persona that he expects all of us to be shocked and horrified that this Legbeard can't keep the cutting boards used for whatever, raw meat and poultry sorted. What the hell? Yeah, I just don't see it. Maybe the comments will see it differently, but I just don't see this being a big deal at all. Well, y'all have probably already guessed that despite me reminding her several times what each cutting board is for, she still uses the white one for raw meat, and the red for fruit, and my small one to cut whole-ass onions and peppers, and like, I get it. I might work in a kitchen where color-coded boards are the norm, and I might be going overboard with bringing that rule into my own house. You think? Maybe. I don't understand, dude. Like I said, give her a black cutting board. You got an extra one. Just let her cut whatever the hell she wants on it. It's really not as big a deal as you're making it. Neither of us have allergies or religious dietary restrictions to worry about, so using the wrong cutting board isn't that egregious of an offense. It's just kind of annoying, and the problem is solved once they're clean. Yeah, so why did we... Oh, LP! This thing that slightly annoys me, I'm going to go on for 3 paragraphs about it. Okay, I get it about the cutting boards. Enough with the fucking cutting boards. Give me something that I can actually focus on with this Legbeard. I'm trying to drop firebombs equally, but this whole cutting board tangent has really made me come after OP this time around. But, oh, he's still gonna defend it. But the color coding is something that I explained to her, and she agreed to. Okay. She agreed it was a good idea to have a separate cutting board for raw meat and prepared food, and then she just uses the white cutting board to fucking peel raw shrimp. I think she just didn't want to get into a fight with her friend about how stupid it is to have a color-coded system for cutting boards. God, if my wife did this, it would drive me up a fucking wall. She's like, you can't use that one for raw shrimp. Oh, really? Okay. Well, it seemed to work just as fine as the other one that is supposedly shrimp-based, so just leave me alone and let me do what I'm gonna do. How about that? I would never talk to my wife like that, honestly. But a roommate that I don't give a shit about? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's have a real open and honest conversation about all this crap. How about that? My wooden one, though? Oh, it's still about the cutting boards. I can't breathe. It was only about a week after I bought it when this happened. Oh, I'm sure it's egregious. I don't know how we're gonna take this. You might want to sit down. I hadn't had the chance to use it quite yet because, you guessed it, the kitchen was dirty. But she used it without asking me when I told her to ask me if she used it. Wood cutting boards are great to have in the kitchen, but I don't like using them for raw meat, and I was not about to let her chop up any chicken on it. Thankfully, she also didn't use it for raw meat. Alright, I guess this is one that I can kind of get behind. She wasn't goodly enough to ask you about the thing that you had made pretty clear that you bought for yourself as a treat. She was the one that popped the cherry on it, and you know that ain't no good. But in order to ensure that I was the first one to use that cutting board, I would literally store it in my room until I was ready to use it. Then there's no misunderstandings, right? Everything in its proper place. I can't believe we're still on this cutting board tangent, honestly. I hope we get on to something else eventually, because this is going to make me lose my fucking mind. But she did take the cutting board out of the apartment without asking me before I even had a chance to use it, and set up her own charcuterie board for a get-together with friends. Gasp! She was doing something nice, wanted to feel a little classy around her friend group. It doesn't even sound like she chopped anything on it. I mean, maybe she did in order to get the, like, sliced meats or whatever. But regardless, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But I'm sure it will become one. I was at work at the time, and she didn't even text me to let me know that she was doing it. I came home to the board, covered in scraps of cheese and deli meat. There was even some scratches from where they'd cut bread on it. I was so mad. Even if she had asked, I would have told her no because it was pricey and I hadn't even had a chance to use it yet. So it pissed me off that she just took it without asking. It feels so petty to me, man. Was it a crappy thing to do? Yeah, sure, I will grant you that. She should have asked, or she should have realized that this board was important to you and not used it. But is it really worth including in this Reddit post and going on at length about at that? Because my feeling is that it kind of cheapens the rest of your argument that we're just going off about a wooden cutting board. This is a ridiculous argument to have. Okay, she used it first. That sucks. All right, there's some scratches on it. That sucks. Flip it over. The scratches are gone. Boom. I fixed it for you. Honestly, it just seems like a battle that's not worth having. But I can tell that it has affected you deeply, and I will say, okay, she shouldn't have done that, but what's done is done. Is it worth ending the friendship over, is what you need to ask yourself, and obviously it did, and obviously the answer was, no, it's not. You want to continue being friends, so I don't know, maybe this vent helps you a little bit, but it has really put a bad taste into my mouth. Maybe it was just a weird way to, like, cut the post. Now we're, like, back into it about a cutting board, like... Again, it just feels really petty to me. The worst of all her cutting board related crimes, however... oh, God. Stop it, please. The worst crime is simply not using one. Oh, what's this? Don't use this cutting board. Use a cutting board. You gotta pick the right color cutting board. Gah! I'm going insane by proxy. You understand? I totally feel where this Legbeard is coming from. She can't do no right. Do you have a user's manual for these cutting boards that spells out the color coding system and when we actually need to use a cutting board and which cutting boards that we're not supposed to use at all? Again, okay, you're a chef, I get it, but develop some other things about a personality, right? Have you ever considered that maybe you put a little too much stock into being a chef? I'm just gonna throw that out there. I can't tell you how many times I've heard her clattering in the kitchen and left my room to talk to her only to find her cutting shit directly on the counter. For the record, we rent. Well, that's good. Then you don't actually have to replace the countertops, so who cares? Cut up whatever you want on the counters as far as I'm concerned. Security deposit? What's that? As soon as I paid it, I never had a plan on, like, getting it back. Oh, I know you didn't go out of the room just to talk to her, right? You heard the clattering on the counter and you're like, I bet that bitch isn't even using a cutting board. And then you go out there just to see if she is using a cutting board, even though you know she's not. And then you're like, I can't believe you're not using a cutting board. Maybe that's why this Legbeard keeps the kitchen so dirty, because she knows that it keeps OP out of the kitchen. Leave me alone and let me cook what I want to cook, how I want to cook it, right? I'm really going to bat for the Legbeard today. I think I saw it more from OP's side in the last episode, but this whole cutting board tangent has really flipped me. God damn. She also loves shrimp, so she'll get those bags of raw frozen shrimp, and then she'll peel and devein them right on the counter, and I can't forgive her for that. Hang on to whatever you need to hang on to, just so you can feel like you're the big man, that you're always in the right. Congratulations, you don't peel your shrimp on the counter. It's not like she's peeling them on the carpeted floor, right? It's not a big deal. Wipe it up with a sponge, you're good. Ugh. Not even a plate underneath to catch the drippings and the guts. Not even a paper towel. Just raw shrimp on the counter. Oh, get ready to clutch your pearls, ladies and gentlemen. Raw shrimp upon the countertop? Oh, how uncouth. OP would go nuts 30 seconds into watching me cook a meal. I'm gonna tell you that much. Best of all, she often leaves the bag that they came in on the counter and then does a piss poor job of wiping everything up with a cold, wet paper towel. Like, girl, we have Clorox wipes for a reason. This is total Oscar and Felix situation. Legbeard walking around smoking a cigar, ashing it in the potted plants, and then OP's like, oh, you can't do that. I gotta get the hand vac. It's just classic. I'm definitely more of an Oscar than a Felix, if you couldn't tell. And all this, not even to mention that one time that she literally tossed the empty bag that had contained raw shrimp into the fruit bowl on top of my fruit. Well, that's pretty disgusting. Why the hell would she do that? That does seem weird. The trash can is like right over there, but you're gonna put it in the fruit bowl? What are you, stupid or something? Jesus, dude. This whole situation is just like beyond ridiculous from both of you, honestly. I don't know how this roommate situation has worked out for 4 years, but it's pretty obvious that you're both tired of each other, and maybe it's time to move on. People shouldn't be roommates forever, you know? You start to get on each other's nerves after a while. Okay, so I'm almost done with the kitchen stuff. Maybe, I think. No, please be done with the kitchen stuff. I'm done with the kitchen stuff. I checked out 20 minutes ago. But we're still going with the kitchen stuff. I recently replaced R, and by R, I mean my, knives. Because we'd been working with some old IKEA knives for a bit, and I wanted to upgrade. And much like the cutting boards, you're gonna start holding the knives over her head and be like, oh, these are my knives. Let me teach you. This one's for fish only, and this is a fruit knife. Here's a paring knife to peel potatoes. Just use one kitchen knife for everything. It's fine, okay? I don't know if I can stand 6 more paragraphs on how to properly use a knife. God damn it. Nothing wrong with IKEA knives, honestly. They're actually pretty good quality. But the weight has always been a little off for me, so I wanted to get something that felt better in my hands. Oh, buddy. It's just such a kitchen purist. Yeah, these knives are okay, but I'm gonna get some better knives for a treat. And then when my roommate uses them, I will have an absolute panic attack about it. If you don't want her to use the knives, then you keep the knives locked up, right? But you didn't do that. You just left them in the kitchen and then freaked out when she had the audacity to use them. Come on, man. This is just roommate stuff. This is just basic. I did keep the IKEA knives though, because I wanted her to keep on using those and not the new ones. And she admitted to preferring them when I asked if she wanted to keep them. You mean she lied in your face to avoid another argument? Honestly, you guys are both part of the problem here. And the most hilarious part is that each one expects the other one to change to accommodate them. You know what I'm saying? And it hasn't happened for 4 years, but they just keep on hoping. I don't know why that's so funny to me, man. For a while, she really didn't touch the new knives, probably because I gave her a bunch of rules for using them. Ugh. See, at least she's trying to abide. She's like, okay, these seem really important to you. I'm sorry I didn't get the cutting board method and stuff, but I won't use the knives if you don't want me to use them because I actually have some other knives to use. So if you gave her one of your spare cutting boards, you could nip this whole problem in the bud, right, OP? Why haven't you just done that? Instead, come along and write a Reddit post like that's gonna change anything? God damn, dude. It's indefensible. I can't even help you. Help me to help you, please. For God's sake. I told her how to clean the knives properly and not to sharpen them with the cheap sharpener. She has one of those little plastic things with the 2 slots. Those things tear up your blades. I use whetstone and honing steel to sharpen and maintain my blades. Good for you. Not to use the paring knife to cut onions. Bro, I told you. I called this. Which, yes, she has done that before. Again, get ready to clutch your pearls, ladies and gentlemen. A paring knife to cut onions? My, what savagery! It's sharp, it gets the job done. Fucking leave me alone. I understand they're your things, OP, but why don't you put them in like a nice knife bag or something like that? Store it under your bed. Then when you're ready to go in the kitchen, you can break out the knife bag and there's your knives. All clean and sharpened just how you like them. That Legbeard didn't get to touch any of them. Again, I don't understand why you two keep going in circles expecting the other one to change, because it's pretty obvious that you're set in your ways, like... After 4 years, you guys haven't figured out how to compromise a little bit? Oy, oy, oy. I even did that whole Colette thing from Ratatouille. French accent and all. I'll make this easy to remember. Don't fuck up my knives, or I will kill you.
I'll make this easy to remember. Keep your station clear, or I will kill you.
Well,
Did they say the F word in Ratatouille? No, couldn't be. Not in my Ratatouille. I don't even remember who the hell Colette is. But given OP's extreme interest in being a chef, I'm pretty sure that's the one movie that they can quote line for line. So fast forward about a month, and I come home from spending a drunk night with a friend, having not entered the kitchen in 2 or 3 days, and I find my chef knife on the counter, covered in some dried yellow crap. As I clean the blade with warm water, a sponge, and dish soap, I looked at her on the couch and gave her a gentle reminder. Hey, so if you use my knives, could you please clean them like I showed you and put them back in the block after you dry them? And she apologized and said, yes! However, 2 weeks later, same shit with my brand new paring knife. At least she hasn't put any of them in the dishwasher yet. At a certain point, the onus is no longer on the Legbeard. If she keeps doing the same thing, the conversations you're having aren't getting through, then take it into your own hands, you know? You're just like, okay, whatever. You can't do it. I'm gonna keep these out of your reach. Easy. But instead, it's just like a conversation every couple of weeks with the same results, and then guess what? It has the same results. That is to say, nothing different. I should mention here that she does like to cook, but she's not very good at it. Oh, not like OP. OP, master chef, next level, the next Gordon Ramsay writing this post right now. Yes, indeed. The first rule of ReddX, dunk not, lest ye be dunked upon. Verily. That's the book of ReddX, chapter 69, verse 420. I don't know how it got so deep in there if it's the first rule, but I didn't even write the book. I had it ghostwritten. Don't worry about it. She's not bad, but not great. Just kind of average. But keep in mind that that's average compared to the greatest chef that the world's ever seen. It's because she doesn't use separate cutting boards, bro. Oh, I want to die. Oh, so she always gets on me because I have a more refined palate. And she, in her own words, has a garbage one. And seeing as how one of her go-to meals is frozen ravioli in butter and garlic salt sauce, yeah, I can agree. Sounds to me like she's pumping you up in the one way she knows will 100% get your dick hard. She's like, oh, your palate is so great. My palate is nothing compared to yours, oh great master chef. And OP's all gassed up on their own juices, so they're like, yeah, you're right. I do have a great palate. I'm gonna make a post about that on Reddit. Oh, God. Are we done yet? Check the clock. So she acts like she knows everything because she watches all the YouTube chefs and buys all the cookbooks and tries all the recipes, but her fundamental understanding of how to operate in a kitchen is fundamentally flawed, which wouldn't be a bad thing in and of itself, but she makes dumb, dangerous mistakes and then gets so pissy if I ever try to help her with something. But knowledge and experience are two completely different things, especially when it comes to cooking. That's why going to culinary school isn't necessary to be successful, and a degree with no experience is more often than not turned down in favor of experience without a degree. Honestly, I'm still at a loss for why any of this matters. You're in there like comparing dishes and performance in the kitchen and, oh, you didn't do this task quite right, and yeah, just leave her alone, dude. She's not making food to become the next great professional food maker. She's making food so she could eat, you know? Maybe having some fun, try some stuff out. Apparently both of you guys are interested in cooking, but one of you is, for some reason, you just can't relate on that at all. And I think that's really sad. You guys could make great roommates if you could simply put aside your differences and learn to work together. But it's impossible. And I think the main reason that it's impossible is because OP sees himself as so much bigger and better in the kitchen than this Legbeard. And quite simply, that's not the truth. You work in a kitchen, okay? She works a desk job. Why do you expect her to know these things just inherently? This is fucking stupid, man. I'm so done, bro. Whatever. Oh, and again, in case we all forgot, let me fucking remind you that OP works in a professional kitchen. Let me see that chef's knife real quick. I'm gonna jab it in my fucking neck. I don't know how much more I can handle, man. Oh, God. I've been working in professional kitchens for 7 years. Bleed out, dead, ReddX channel over. All the things that he read about and the rant about cutting boards got him. Never would have seen it coming. Oh, God. She refuses to heed my advice or let me show her easier ways to do things. You trying to mansplain to her? You're using that knife all wrong. I don't care, man. It gets the thing cut. Leave me alone. Again, cutting an onion with a paring knife. Oh! That's the fainting sound, by the way. Cutting onions and potatoes with a dull knife? My heavens! Letting her cutting board slide around as she's chopping? Goodness gracious! That one actually is kind of dangerous, but again, she works in an office. She hasn't been a kitchen professional for 7 years, like OP the Master Chef. Oh, God. She also tries to cut into the belly of the shrimp when peeling instead of the back, doesn't hold the blade right, or doing the claw when gripping food, using the same cutting board for meat and vegetables, overcrowding her pan or oil, using non-stick when she wants a good shear, and not using non-stick when she's cooking something prone to sticking. Using bowls or pans that are too small, not letting her meat rest before slicing it, being on her freaking phone while cooking instead of watching her food or cleaning up the mess that she's making. I hate all of this, honestly. I'm so disinterested in cooking, and it seems like this Legbeard is disinterested in cooking as well. She likes food, she likes making the food so she could eat the food, but OP is the one that really enjoys like the process of making the food. Which, hey, that's great. You do you, but don't come at somebody for not doing this or that right, especially if she doesn't want help. Okay, you don't want help, it's not gonna kill you, that's fine. Just go ahead and do it. I'll be in my room. I don't understand why OP's gotta be so involved. Like, hey, you gotta let your meat rest before slicing it. I swear I'm gonna slice my own neck open. I mean, some of these things are basic common sense when it comes to cooking. Yeah, I don't know anything about any of this shit, man. Just let me fry up my chicken tenders and leave me alone. I know the oil's not hot enough, okay? It's fine. It's gonna get cooked.
Oh, shit!
It's just gotten to the point where I can't watch her cook. You shouldn't be watching her cook anyways, you weirdo. What's the point of watching her cook? So you can correct all the things that she does wrong? So you can feel like the big professional restaurant guy? God damn it. Insufferable. I didn't feel like OP was this insufferable in the last post, but getting into this one, I'm losing my mind. I get home so late that she's usually making herself dinner, and I would hang out in the kitchen and we'd talk about our day. Well, that's nice. Maybe wait until the cooking is complete. It's just so frustrating. And she won't let me in the kitchen when she's cooking anymore because she thinks I'm judging her. Duh! She doesn't think that. It's because you are judging her objectively. Then you get on Reddit and make a whole fucking post about it, and I have to sit here and read it. Like I even actually give a shit. Ugh! And OP admits as much. Which, I mean, I am judging, but I'm not mean about it. Honestly, you don't have to yell to be mean, all right? I think your smug sense of superiority is enough to get her turned off from the idea of cooking around you. Honestly, I would never want to have you watch me make a meal. OP just says, you know, can I show you an easier way? No. Or wanna know a secret for whatever you're making? No. I never tell her that she's doing it wrong. I just suggest a better way that makes whatever she's doing safer, less wasteful, or, better. Lol. Better according to who? Are we cooking for fucking... Is Gordon Ramsay coming over later? Do you have some dinner guests that you didn't tell me about? Or am I making this for myself and it doesn't really matter how I get it done, right? But ReddX, aren't you interested in the right way of doing things? You want me to be frank? No, I'm not at all. As long as it gets done, I do not care one little bit. She treats me like a snob. God, imagine that. It acts like I'm expecting Michelin star level perfection when I was just gonna suggest that she pat dry her steak so she actually gets a sear. This is how she does it. It's the incorrect way, but she doesn't want help. So yes, stop being a snob about it. You think I'm gonna refuse to eat my steak just because it didn't get a proper sear on it? Hell no. No matter how it comes out of the pan, it's going in my mouth. It's not a Michelin star restaurant. Yes, that's correct. Please get over yourself. Okay, I think that's all when it comes to kitchen things. Don't lie to me again, OP. That's what you said the last time, and we had another 5 paragraphs to go! I'm getting so frustrated. If not, meh. If not, I'm gonna go get the chef's knife from the kitchen. It's getting late, and I have a tattoo tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and make these next sections brief, so I can wrap it up. 4 years is a long time, and some stuff has obviously been forgotten. You mean we spent the most amount of time? I think the previous sections probably should have been the part that was condensed, right? She uses the wrong cutting board, the wrong knife, etc. Okay, moving on. Instead, you just had to beat me and her, apparently, over the head with how to properly operate in a kitchen. She's not starving, okay? It's getting done. So if she doesn't want advice, you don't have to offer your advice, despite 7 years of professional restaurant experience. Oh my God. I don't think this went the way that OP thought it was gonna go. And while it's great that you found your passion and you're doing what you love, maybe cool it a little bit. Especially with people who are not as interested, including your roommate. So now we can segue into attitude. She has one, and it gets really, really annoying. Seems to me like you both have one, honestly. She gets mad over the smallest things, full on yelling at her phone when an alarm goes off and she's already awake, telling it to shut the fuck up when she gets a notification. Back to the kitchen for 2 seconds. Nope. I'm done. That's it. Goodbye.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm back. I have a metal rack in the bottom cupboard for the pots and pans. It's one of those that the bars could pop out really easily and you can rearrange it to fit your cookware as needed. It's a bit big for the space and the cookware is kinda cramped, but it works. And it's better than how we had it before where it was just unstacked chaos. Yeah, I think OP has a big problem with chaos. I really enjoy chaos. The universe is entropy, okay? Stop trying to organize things. You're in control of nothing. Let it go. That's a message for everybody, not just OP. You just have to pull the pots out slowly because otherwise they can get caught. Oh, so maybe it's not a better solution. Instead of calmly doing that, she jiggled the pan she was trying to retrieve around. Gasp! Yanking and tugging until the bar got disconnected and the whole rack came down. I would just leave it on the floor, honestly. Whatever. I got the pan I needed. Whoever's cooking next can kiss my ass. She also gets heated in traffic. Oh good, we're out of the kitchen now. Yeah, give me some road rage. Something that I cannot be enraged over. Which I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but this is what we're rolling with. She will scream full volume at people who are just driving a little bit slower than she wants to go. Oh, screw that. I drive slow as hell. I might get there slower, but I'm gonna get there in one piece, I'll tell you that. You don't like it? Go your happy ass around. If you want to take it to the next level, then we could do that too. Even if they're going the speed limit. She thinks she's being hilarious, and that her road rage one-liners are her crowning achievement in comedy. Yeah, she took that Simpsons road rage game far too seriously.
I sentence you to kiss my ass.
I, on the other hand, do not enjoy this. Yeah, that is a horrible thing. Locked in a car with this person who's screaming like the devil? Miss me with that. Pull over right now. I'll walk to where I'm going, all right? I don't feel comfortable calling my parents abusive, even though they were. Whoa, segue. Okay, that's a shift. Because our relationship had both good and bad. But the bad involved a lot of screaming and yelling at me for seemingly no reason, usually followed by getting smacked around a bit. Well, I'm sorry you experienced that, OP. Maybe that's why you like so much organization in your life. Feels like you can control something. So I apologize a bit for what I said earlier. Now I'm getting to see the human side a little bit more, instead of the kitchen robot that I'm really not too fond of. So you can imagine how startled I might get if I'm in the passenger seat, looking at my phone or digging in my bag for some gum, when out of nowhere she screeches, "Did your parents have any children that lived?" Which I know is a Full Metal Jacket quote, but also, my mom had 7 miscarriages before she had me and my brother, so kind of insensitive to scream that beside someone who actually lost siblings, even if it was before I was born. I mean, it is true, you don't really know the full extent of the words that you're saying and the effect that they might have on other people. That's fair, I experienced that a lot with this YouTube channel. But does she know about this? Unless she's saying that personally to attack you, I don't really know if you have a leg to stand on in this very strange instance. Sounds to me like you want to have a talk with Stanley Kubrick, right? Go ahead, write your letter to the Kubrick estate. If you had informed her about that and she carried on, then I'd be on your side, OP. Have you ever sat her down and explained how that line affects you? If she continues on with it after that conversation, then yeah, she's definitely a jackass, but just expecting her to infer that that's not okay with you? You can't do that, man. She's not doing it to attack you. She's doing it because she's the devil when she gets behind the wheel, apparently. I don't like the whole road rage thing, but I'm not too sure about shoving yourself into the victim hat in this scenario either, so I don't know. We'll call it a draw or something. She also has a hairpin trigger, and the smallest things can set her off, which I guess we've established. If you upset her at all, she will pout and get on her phone. This girl is obsessed with her phone, and she'll stop talking to you for a few hours because she only has the balls to yell at inanimate objects and other drivers, I guess. With people, she gives you the silent treatment, and it's impossible to guess what exactly might piss her off because sometimes it's just because you were discussing unjust politics. Sometimes it's just because one of her jokes didn't land. Yeah, that's an insecurity within herself that she needs to deal with at some point. But on the real though, I'd probably just be there enjoying the silence. Like, oh, I'm so blessed. If I could just keep her mad for the next 3 weeks, I might actually get a nice little vacay out of this. She'll randomly start vent dumping on me, even though we've discussed it before, and both agreed that we would ask if it is okay to vent. Ugh, that's another one that I hate. Don't do it, man. People are like, hey, ReddX, you read about trauma. Surely you want to read about my trauma in your Discord DMs. I'm like, nope. Not at all. Thank you. I read about it when I consent to read about it, right? We tracking with that? Again, we both have depression, and sometimes when you're down, you don't really have the energy to listen to someone else talk about their bad times. Oh, I'm feeling so seen right now. Bless you, OP. Freaking 100% truth right there. I'm coming back around now. Maybe we could still be friends, as long as we don't talk about kitchen stuff anymore. So yeah, we're supposed to check with each other when it comes to venting. I do. She doesn't. And she'll just start going on and on about
How shitty her day was, and she's having a fight with her coworker, and she doesn't have time to do anything, and that her old manager from the kiosk won't stop calling her and trying to get her to come back to work,
and all this other stuff that, okay, sure, she needs to get out, but it's usually just after I get home from work. And all I want to do is shower and go to bed. And it is always without warning. Look at me in my eyes, listen to me and what I'm about to say right now, okay? I'm not your therapist. You don't pay me nothing. I'm not gonna sit around and listen to this for free. I get that, you guys are friends and stuff like that, but yeah, even friendship, you gotta draw a line in the sand. The consent thing, that's a good rule. I don't know why this Legbeard isn't following it. She just thinks she's more important than the other people around her, I suppose. Listen to all my problems. Do you realize how little I'm actually interested in hearing about them? Your problems don't amount to a hill of beans, woman. Ugh, she gets really pissy about her weight, too. Now, she's a big girl. If not 300 pounds, then close to it. And I feel for her when it comes to certain things, like finding clothes that fit, and having to walk up the stairs, and the joint pain that comes with bigger bodies. And I don't bring up her weight to fat shame her in any way, but I am bringing it up because she makes it everyone else's problem. See, there's the rub. Maybe you did format this post correctly, OP. I came out of the gate dropping heat on you, but now I'm like, oh, this Legbeard. Let me tell you, you can be however big you want, If somebody is a good person and they're also big, probably nobody's gonna bring up the fact that they're big in a negative light. But the second that you turn that on somebody else, try to make it their problem, oh, you're gonna have trouble. Like if we're out shopping and she can't find anything in her size, she starts taking it out on everyone else. Probably that means the poor sales associate that is also not paid enough to listen to your friggin' problems. Let me go check in the back, and then you just go outside for a cigarette break like, God damn it, I need to find a new job. I have so been there before. Treat anybody in customer service with some friggin' respect, because they probably got the hardest jobs out there. Aside from like food service, which I guess is kind of customer service. Anyways, if she can't fit at a booth in a restaurant, she'll huff and puff and make everyone else feel guilty for being able to fit. This sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, honestly. What do you want me to do? Make the booth bigger? Go get a chair. Sit on the end of the table. You can still make it work. You want to be able to fit in the booth? Then lose some weight. I understand it can be frustrating, but if that's the case, then do something to alleviate your frustration. You feel me? Her leggings will rip at the seam, and she'll go on and on about how she's not allowed to have nice things. Bro, you don't even have kids yet. You don't know nothing about not being allowed to have nice things. You ripped those leggings yourself. You can't blame nobody else for that. She'll complain about being fat every chance she gets, and she'll call herself derogatory names all the time, and I just have no words. Because what am I supposed to say? She is fat. She's digging for a compliment at that point, OP, and whether you give her one, I guess that is your choice. I wouldn't buy into it just because that's going to become a cycle. She'll be like, oh, I'm so fat and ugly. I'll be like, no, you're beautiful, honey. You're doing great. But I like OP's response more. Yeah, I mean, you're fat. What do you want? Tough love works. I'm a big advocate. Being fat isn't a bad thing, to be clear, but being fat does make her feel bad, and it causes situations where she feels worse. She'll blow off literally any compliment, even ones about her personality, which, despite what you might assume, is great, despite her attitude. This seems kind of counterintuitive, but okay. She's got an attitude problem, but a great personality. They are slightly different things, but yeah, man, that attitude problem will put a big damper on the great personality as far as I'm concerned. She's very caring, very ride or die, very much the kind of person who would go naked in order to keep others warm. Eh, please don't do that, though. Nobody needs to see that. I would say that for anybody, honestly. I'll give you the shirt off my back, for sure, but I'm not going naked. But then she does nothing to try and lose weight, even though she's expressed wanting to hundreds of times. She'll eat entire boxes of pasta in one sitting, shovel down 3 persons worth of dollar menu fast food, survives on overprocessed, frozen garbage. Even the healthy things that she eats are like a Cobb salad, literally dripping with dressing and overloaded with bacon bits. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be healthy today and get the fish and chips. Fish and chips. Fat guys think we're a diet food.
Fish and chips.
Fat guys think we're a diet food.
You're fooling nobody but yourself with that. Cobb salad is great, but I really hope that nobody's under the impression that it is like a healthy choice just because there happens to be lettuce under it. She's only come to the gym with me once, and only because another friend of ours was going too, and he all but guilt tripped her to go with us. Yeah, that's probably not the way to get somebody to go to the gym. You want to encourage, you see. This singular experience probably put like a negative spin onto the gym. I was more focused on my own workout than anything that she was doing, but our friend was showing her how to use the machines, and every time I happened to look up, she was sitting down, red-faced and dripping sweat, looking like she was about to cry. Oh God, you guys, you basically ruined the gym for her. This is her first experience at the gym, and you couldn't even be bothered to make it a good one, OP. I understand it's not 100% your job, but she is your friend, supposedly, right? God, this take hurts me deep down, like on a personal level. But yeah, I do sympathize because working out can be tough and overwhelming when you're first starting out, and she didn't even really want to be there in the first place. But that was 2 years ago, and some of that sympathy has worn out. She said that she'd work out on her own or come with me when that friend isn't there, but she has yet to go back to the gym. She doesn't even work out at home. Yeah, but I can't really blame her for that. Her first experience, this friend is obviously like running her into the ground, and OP doesn't give a single crap. Yeah, you got her to go to the gym, and then you abandoned her. Like, I don't know, figure it out, whatever. If you actually cared, if you wanted her to work out alongside you, then you would invite her to work out alongside you. Turn it into a friendly experience. But much like the kitchen, you don't seem capable of doing that, which is really worrying. Many people, particularly deeply depressed people, don't have the energy to go and do all that stuff by themselves. And by making that her first gym experience, you've essentially set her up for failure, man. Very not cool. You might think that that's like another tick in the box, like, oh, look at this lazy leg beard. It's like, it's pretty obvious why she chose not to go again. Because you made the experience terrible. She also has this weird possessive thing going on with my cats. They are my cats! Oh boy, here we go. My cutting board, my knives, my cats. Why don't you just let go a little bit? You're roommates, you share stuff. That's how it goes. One is a 14-year-old that I've had since I was a kid. The other is a 5-year-old adopted stray. She and I admittedly found together. Oh, but they're my cats. You a fool. That was a year before we were living together. Both cats are under my name on the lease, and I paid the full pet deposit and the monthly fee. I'm the one who buys their food, cleans their litter boxes, takes them to the vet, trims their claws, brushes them, clean their ears, buy them toys, beds, treats, cat trees, etc., and plays with them. They even sleep with me at night and usually hang out in my room whenever I'm home. Okay, primary caregiver, I get it. But is it really off limits for her to like enjoy the cats that happen to be yours? She is your roommate after all, correct? What do these cats do when you're not home? I bet OP's just in the kitchen like, I bet she's hanging out with my freaking cats again. They're my cats! Give it a rest. In every way, emotionally and financially, I am responsible for these cats. Without me, these cats would not be around her. But she'll send pictures of them to her Discord saying that they're her cats. And if she's talking to me, then they're our cats. Oh, here we go with this pedantic bullshit again. I don't care about the kitchen. I don't really care about the cats either. So what? She shares pictures on a Discord server. So what? She wants to make believe that they're her cats. Who cares? Just give her some semblance of joy in her life, would you? She has never, in the whole 4 years we've lived together, cleaned their litter boxes, taken them to the vet, or independently bought them food. Oh, but she has pitched in on the food. She just didn't do it independently, right? She's trying to help out with the cats, right? Give her some credit, man. She's never cleaned up after them if they throw up or go outside the litter box. She's never trimmed their claws or given them baths. She'll feed them in the morning since she wakes up before I do, and she'll cuddle them and throw around their toys, but that's it. But yeah, no, sure, they're her cats too. We are getting so far into semantics here. Yes, okay, I get it. She likes to play with your cats. What a horrible person. You better crucify her in the town square so everybody knows that these are my cats and I'm the best 7-year professional kitchen restaurant chef person ever. I start coming around on Yopi and then. So yeah, her cats too, for no other reason than I think she just wants to be able to claim to her Discord that she has cats. So what? So what? I hate this. I mean, imagine if you were living with a friend and they kept calling your adopted baby their kid. Oh, we're comparing cats and babies now? I don't think so, Tim. No. You want to call my dogs your dogs to a group of strangers I don't know? Sure, whatever, if it makes you feel better. But kids? We're comparing apples and oranges here. You're purposely hyperbolizing the situation, right? Even though you're the one who went through the adoption process and pays for everything they need and takes care of their every need just because they want some clout. Yeah, I think I made my position pretty clear. Okay to do with cats, who cares? With a baby? Yeah, that's my kid. And the Discord. Oh, Now we've moved on to weird sexuality things. Oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready. This episode's getting long. It's feeling like an eternity. But okay. Now, I'm not as familiar with Legbeards as I am with Neckbeards so far as interests go. I'm not too familiar with the regular tropes. I see most people talk about them all mostly being weeaboos, but between the two of us, I'm the one that's more into anime. She does have a few anime that she enjoys, but she's mostly into Marvel movies and musicals. And you know how fandoms always ruin the thing for you? God, don't I? Feel free to like a thing, never be a part of a fandom. Imagine being roommates with the living embodiment of a fandom. Oh God, no, why this? Now, if she engages in discourse, she never tells me about it. Aside from a few times where she had to block some random people from her Tumblr/Discord for shipping a whole grown-ass man with a female character who, depending on the adaptation, is anywhere from 13 to 17. Yeah, that's a good block. I can't say I wouldn't do the same. So at the very least, she's not one of those weirdos. Most of her shipping involves self-ship stuff, which I'm not into at all, but whatever. Yeah, no king shame, but no king same. I don't know why you're in here airing all of her dirty laundry in a Reddit post, honestly. Does it make you feel better that you're the more vanilla of the two? Is this another weird flex that we're looking at? I guess we'll find out. So this Legbeard does engage in the weird sexual side of every fandom she's in. She had a clown banger phase. I'm not even kidding. And she would tell me about fics that she was either reading or writing about fucking Pennywise the clown.
Please call the DWP. I'm stuck in here.
Might be pretty cool. He could shapeshift into anything. I looked into a deadlights and I wanted to be there. Whoa! It got to the point where just looking at Bill Skarsgård made me uncomfortable. She also lewds characters that I don't really like being lewded for personal reasons. Oh, here we go again. Much like the line from Full Metal Jacket, another thing that this Legbeard is probably completely unaware that she's doing that makes you uncomfortable, but you just expect her to, like, read your mind? Come on now. One character kind of feels like an uncle to me, but that's the character she tends to lewd the most. I've told her it makes me really uncomfortable to think about this character doing anything sexual, and by extension, a cartoon character that the voice actor voices. And for the most part, she has been pretty good about not talking to me about what goes on in her Discord, but every now and then. Oh God. So it seems like she's trying to keep it out of your line of sight since you had the conversation. However, like, what do you go creeping for it or something like that? You must. How else does it get into your line of vision? Just so desperately clinging on to something to be angry about because she lewds this cartoon character that you think of as an uncle. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. I'm gonna throw this whole episode out. No, I'm not. I've already spent too much time on it. This one character from the media she's obsessed with clones himself at one point. Oh boy, here we go. It's gonna get real kinky, isn't it? And this server has made a Mafia AU where each clone is their own person. I admire the collaborative creativity of these people, and some of the art I've seen is top notch, so I'm not at all shaming them, at least not for that. Okay, but let's get to the part where you start shaming them, so I can look down my nose and be like, why? Why are you shaming people that are doing this in a private Discord? Does it make you feel better in some way about yourself? Because it shouldn't. It's pathetic, if I can be quite frank. But let's see, okay? So, every so often, dear old Rumi will tell me about a writing request that she got for one of the characters involving kinks and exploring their relationship with main character slash reader slash you, and I just kind of check out because I don't want to hear it. See, that's about the point where you can kink shame. We've had the discussion of consent, realized that the Legbeard doesn't really respect that. So yeah, what she's doing is beyond the pale. I don't like it none too much. Now you have dragged this out of the Discord and into the public view, and I can't really sign off on that one, Chief. I'm not saying lewding adult characters is bad or that shipping is bad, and I'm not trying to tell anyone how to enjoy their fandom. I just don't want to hear about the characters that she chooses to lewd. As is your right. Have you had this conversation? Probably not that it would have much of an effect, but you probably should at some point. Every time she brings it up, you yell in her face, I don't like talking about that. I don't want to hear about that. Don't tell me about that. Eventually she'll get the message. All right, oh boy, it's almost 8 a.m. and I can feel the thoughts slipping through my fingers like the sand of time. We all have such little time. Let's see if I can wrap up the rest of what I want to talk about. No, I'm sure, totally. It's gonna go great. She has this habit where she'll see or hear something that she has a thing for. Like we're watching a movie and someone speaks in a deep and gravelly voice, for example, and she just makes these overly dramatic orgasm sounds. Oh, God. And she tells whatever it may be that's turning her on to stop, or
No, sir, I do not need to be horny right now. No.
I won't fault her for finding these things attractive, I guess. Nor will I fault her if they do make her horny right in front of my salad. There are these things called inside thoughts and outside thoughts. All of these things you're saying right now, they should be inside. I don't know why you're making them outside. We can be horny without announcing it to our roommate. Yes, I'm sure of that. I am pretty sure everyone experiences that at some point. I have a few kinks that spring up in movies from time to time, and I'm like, oh, worm? But I don't need the over-the-top whining. And I genuinely do not want to hear
hilarious quips about her being so wet. Ugh.
Especially when we're in public or with other friends. Yes, she does this shit in public sometimes. Oh boy. Somebody needs to rein her in. I'm not even kidding. That's so unacceptable. What if there's children out there in hearing distance? I hate basically all of this. Other than that, she also leaves her sex toys out in the open for literally everyone brave enough to step into her room to see. I'll pop my head in to remind her about rent, and they'll just be there, in plain sight on her dirty fucking blood-stained mattress. I mean, it is her room, but yeah, a little more shame. Just roll it under the bed when you're done, all right? We'll wash it off first. I gotta be very specific with this Legbeard. Give it a little rinsey rinse and then put it away. God. I always knock and wait for her to say, okay, before I open the door, so it's not like she doesn't have enough time to throw a blanket over it or put it away or something. I just don't understand how she's not at least a little embarrassed that I can see her vibrators just lying around. Yeah, that's pretty weird, but we also got this with Unfortunate Nookie, so I don't know. Maybe it happens more often than I think. But yes, I do agree that we should keep these things put away. That's a pretty good idea. And anticlimactic ending. Oh, we made it. But it's almost 8 a.m. and I want to grab a nap before I have to actually do anything today. Sorry if this last third is rushed. I think I used up all my writing energy for the kitchen section. Lol. Not lol. I didn't enjoy that section at all. Looking back, maybe I was a little too hard on OP. Okay, we don't share the same preferences. We're not as retentive about what goes on in the kitchen as the other. But that doesn't mean we still can't be friends, right? We're still friends, OP. If you still want to be my friend. Anyway, thank you for reading. Feel free to ask questions or point out any errors that I might have made. TLDR, Legbeard roommate smells bad, is a slob, disrespects my kitchen, including some heirloom type cooking equipment given to me by my parents, has a bad attitude, makes her bad mood / weight issues everybody else's problem, and gets weirdly personal about things that turn her on when literally nobody asked. Really big Unfortunate Nookie vibes from this one, if I could be quite honest. Although, somehow she doesn't seem quite as hopeless as Unfortunate Nookie is. She's definitely an awkward person that I wouldn't necessarily want to be around, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't be too keen on hanging out with OP either, especially with all the kitchen stuff that's going on there. It sounds like you two have been stuck in a necessary situation for far too long. I do hope that eventually one or both of you are able to get up and out, remove yourself from the situation, enjoy your own space, because God, that is such a beautiful thing to have. I might have dunked on everybody in this episode, but they're not bad people. I do wish the best for them. A lot of my moaning and groaning and complaining is kind of just for comedic effect, you know? I didn't find the kitchen section that unbearable, okay? It's just more fun when you go over the top with it. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I hope you like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe check out them links in the description. Yes, plugs, playlists, podcasts. You know what I'm about. Maybe share the video around. That would be pretty cool. You can share among your social medias, and you can also follow me on social medias while you're over there. I got Twitter, Discord, Facebook, all those things. I've also got my Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, whom I would like to thank very much. So thank you. Classy Trash Panda, Robert Allen Waits, Camille Sarah, Jarhead Jerry, Oorah, Logan Wolf, Roxanne Wolf, Sim Jerry, Conrad Engie, Mawire Jerry, hey, Mr. ReddX, sir, it wasn't ketchup, it was honey mussy, mixed with blood. Sounds delicious. Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong, Destiny Piper, Aaron Jerry, Twisted Child, Broken Logic, Cinnamon Susie, Esteban, for all blank side, Irary feels unwanted but keeps on fighting anyways, you gotta, never give up, Silent Revolver, the original Jerry, Jerry, son of Jerry's Jury-filled Gym Junkies, almost, Jerry Kitsune, Centauri, 211 Jerry, the Fellowship of Jerry, a Jury of Jubilantly Juggling Jerry, Justy Jargonian Jerry, nailed it, Illuminated Demon, Assassin Pug Jerry, Aurora Wildheart, the Moon Baron, AXN Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blipwood Jerry, Catholic Jerry, Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew, going to the Ukraine, good luck, Danny Toretto said nothing's more important than family, then he stole Bobble Jerry's van. Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Dr. Larks, Emergent Jewel, Eastbars 50, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Hey Dream BR. I can't help falling in love with Jerry. I'm Slim Jerry, son of the real Jerry. All you other Slim Jerrys are just imitating Irish pirates. Top of the barn into ya, irradiated jam. Itchy nuts, just scratching, bro. A pimp named J. Chris, J.M. Coon, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, Hong Kong, Jerry's Buick Riviera, John Hero, John Jerry, Jingleheimer Schmitz, KJW, Kachow, Crewhey, Landlord Jerry. By an ironic twist of fate, I broke my own knees, but it's still time to pay rent. Yeah, roll up the stairs and come get me. Legend McNurf, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, like and subscribe. Milady Dix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Factor. The value of Teddy Coins and marbles keeps plummeting, but I keep buying the dip. Yeah, Metal Factor Diamond Hands over here. Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, who gave me Steve hit Jerry with a bag of marbles after catching him cheating. With Tom, Scandal, Paragon Soul, Phantom of Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Ramside Lacramates, Rose, Jerry Miller, DSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Sassy Octopus, Scarlet's Coven, Sergeant Gay Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, Staples aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomato, Tapioca Baloo, Tango Fair, Tenton Monster, the Italian Greyhound, Dino, the Littlest Who, the Token Trans Queen Jerry, the Wonder Fusky, Tinder Jerry, here, so hey, I showed you my mall katana, please respond. I think you're beautiful. Mall ninja shit. Trying to find another marble to get back to the real world. You probably don't want to blow into that balloon knot. Unbusy Bee, V3 Prime, Vanguard Angel, Viking Jerry, Wick Attack, Wilmag, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or just Clay, that's fine too. Comrade Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, Redwin, not a Viper, Side Jerry, the Cyborg, Saints Blessing, Third Stuff, One Leg Jerry is stumped. Get it? Yeah, I like it. A normal Jerry, Jerry Berries, the tea collection, leaf no flavor behind. Sounds delicious. A curve Jerry's devour, tasty. It is Tom, Admiral T-Tank, Emmer Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Zilla, Babsy Coon, Bartender Kelia, Broken Spine Horseradish, the original different Jerry, that's a Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Lock, Corporal Emerald, Lieutenant Furry, Tiger Princess, Jerry. I screwed that up. Crypt Titties, Decrazy, aka SDI Jerry. Dayton does, but he needs our help. Come on, Jerry, buddy. Clap your hands if you believe. God, I love that one. Devon Jerry, creator of colorful quick clacks, dopamine dangerous, electrical fennec, ghost of alpha, heek not, holy berry Jerry, Hydro Jerry, Solman, Janitor Jerry, is here to clean out your Teddy Coin accounts. Oh no, please, not the Teddy Coins. Jeffrey, Gerald of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's, Weird Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on. Check out the mustache on Jerry Old Rivera, Jerry Roxas, Jerry Role Playing Game, Judge, Jerry and Executioner, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, King Tom, Kitzikin, Life of Guardian, Little Britches Jerry, I never should have ate the doo-doo. Oh God, that is some sad cringe. Little Anna Solution, Lovecraft, Machia, CD, maybe next time milk forget Miss Duchess, not Invisible Angel, Raptor, Cheese by Jerry Pie, Snary, that's Nom Jerry, Spoonie the Row, Spooky Scary Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry, the X Card, To Infinite Jerry and Beyond, Tuna Fish Jerry, Unfortunate Headband Jerry, Strawberry Vegeta, Tom Promise Jerry Sways, oh no, Bad Jerry, Probably Good Boy, the Switch, Facts, Voice, Go look it up. If I mean another ReddX video, if you want. Also, thank you to my $1 patrons, beautiful people that they are. A new month begins, friends. It is time to throw your name into the Jerry hat, or the not Jerry hat, if that's what you preferred. It is what it is. No matter what, I do appreciate it. If you can't afford to do it, however, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Sounds like a plan. Always remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, friends, and until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.